ourselves through these steps each time.
Right. And it takes a second or two for YouTube to get queued up, but we are live and ready to go.
Fantastic. All right. Welcome, everyone, to the day 2 of Sing Your Heart Song Summit. I mean, we've just been rocking and rolling today. And for those of you in this afternoon session, thank you for your stamina and patience and attention. It is my pleasure to introduce you to our next presenter, Sue Wilhite. And just a little bit about Sue. I mean, she has spent 20 years in programming and database design. And she knew that she wanted to catch up and develop her right brain, the right side of her brain. So she's now an international #1 best-selling author, award-winning show host, the Law of Attraction coach, and a certified biofield tuning practitioner. She's known as the Profit Attraction Master, and she specializes in getting her clients unstuck and encourage them to fulfill their own destinies. Her presentation today is getting off your yeah butt. That's butt, B-U-T-T. So super excited to hear from you, Sue, because I've got a long list of yeah butt.
Well, we will see. Thank you, Olivia and Steve. And we will see if any of your yeah buts are on the list that I have for you today. So will I be able to share screen down below? Okay, I'm already in. Good. All right, so let's see if technology will play today. Always my favorite part of doing any presentation. And we are going to start the slideshow. All right, can you see this?
Yes.
You can see my slides, great.
Yes.
All right, so the name of my presentation is Get Off Ya Butt. Get rid of the excuses that are blocking you. This is more or less tuned toward a business focus, but you can think about it as applying to pretty much any area in your life. This is what I hear from my clients all the time when they say they want to start a business or they say they want to start a new venture of some kind. And I say, well, have you tried this? And the answer is, yeah, but yeah, but I got this thing. Yeah, but I can't do it because. Well, let's get off of that, shall we? I think that would be a good thing. All right, so if it is indeed a business that you are going for, one of the things that you're probably looking forward to is leaving your soul-sucking corporate job behind. And put a 1 in there if you've got a soul-sucking corporate job, or there's a soul-sucking environment that you're in that you want freedom from. You want to be free of that soul-sucking environment that you're in, that's toxic, that's stifling, that's suffocating, that's keeping you from expressing your brilliance. I always talk about letting your genius out, becoming your genius. And you can't do that if part of your genius, which, by the way, genius is also kind of a synonym linguistically for soul. If your genius is being sucked out of you, you can't do anything. It really becomes hard to think. It becomes, you feel trapped, and you feel like you can't move forward. So part of the idea of going into business for yourself is having freedom. And sometimes it becomes a struggle. You think that you know what you're doing, you're going whole hog, you've gotten advice from all kinds of people, your relatives, your Uncle George, your Aunt Patty, people on the street. Maybe you've attended a summit or two that have talked about it, you've seen stuff online, and Actually, maybe, and I have dealt with people like this, maybe you even have an MBA. And starting your own business, even if you have an MBA, can be a struggle. It can be overwhelming sometimes, and people get horribly depressed. I know of some folks who they start a business and after a month, they're done. Statistics seem to indicate that most people go from between 3 to 5 years before they just collapse under the weight of struggling with stuff in their business. And it really doesn't have to be that way. I will say that I've been in business since 1995 was when I took my first client. And so it's been a while. And I just have to say that, yes, there are struggles. And one of the things that you want to do is, of course, get help. You need to get the right kind of help, because otherwise you've painted yourself in a corner. You have you've traded one trap for another trap, and you've gotten yourself into this mess where financially nothing is happening, or maybe you put down your credit cards, maybe you've put down your savings, maybe you've totally put a hole in your retirement fund. And so now you're going, wow, what do I do? Do I move forward? Do I try to go back? If there's a gap in your resume now where you tried and didn't quite succeed in getting a business off the ground, maybe that might be a little scary to go back to work. Maybe you're looking at, working at your local retailer again, or McDonald's or what have you, just to be able to get some work experience back in. Or maybe you're facing going back to that same toxic environment that you left. Not what anybody wants to do, right? Put a 1 in there if you really don't want to have and go back to a toxic environment, right? That's exactly right. So sometimes the issue is feeling like money is unspiritual. I help mind, body, spirit practitioners mostly. And a lot of them have this very weird idea that accepting money is somehow unspiritual, or it's greedy, or it's unfair. And I'm about to start a rant. I'll just let you know. Accepting money is absolutely natural. It is 100% proper right. If you belong to pretty much any religion, it is absolutely accepted by God, Goddess, the universe, whichever religious or spiritual path you happen to follow. Accepting money for services or products is absolutely acceptable. It is not unspiritual. In fact, pushing money away is unspiritual. Now, what's happened, especially in the last, I would say 10 or 15 years, but it's really been a lot longer than that, because we have media, because we have newspapers, because we have a bigger, broader view of the world, and because people who have money tend to make news, whether they are making it because they are doing things that are interesting to the media, or they are literally making media. They're literally creating it and putting it out there. Those people are the only ones that you see. It's very difficult to have something good done by a rich person promoted by the media. And in fact, sometimes doing good for people ends up backfiring. I actually saw a post, I think it was yesterday, where somebody was getting on Bill Gates, formerly of Microsoft. And Bill Gates has this whole program for immunizing folks around the world. And this is his thing. This is his focus, because he wants to make life better for children and allow them to grow up and be healthy. And somebody was bashing him because he was focusing on immunization and not food. And I was completely blown away by this. He's spending billions of dollars to help kids grow up healthy. Yes, immunizations are maybe kind of a second thing, but again, it's bashing rich people. And there are a ton of rich people. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of rich people who are more than comfortable, who have 6 and 7 and 8 figure incomes, who are doing massive amounts of good in their communities locally, and you never hear about them. So do not take your model for being rich as the bad behavior and the bad boys and girls that you may have seen on the media. The other thing is making money is unfair. Somehow, it's tough for me to get my mind around. Somehow making money is if you provide a product or a service, asking for something back in return, asking for payment is somehow unfair. Now, I really want to talk about this because I want to say that, and I believe it was Joseph Campbell who was the one who said, money is simply congealed energy. If it wasn't dollar bills, it would be cattle, or it would be shells, or it would be stones, or it would be actual ingots of lead. Lead, by the way, was a form of payment in the Roman Empire. They would ship lead all over the place, and it was extremely valuable. Can you imagine carrying around a brick of lead? It was an ingot. They were called pigs, by the way. Silly little thing. Anyway, how is it unfair that if you provide energy in the form of a product or service, so you've spent creative energy, you've spent your physical energy in the creativity, and you've set up something where you have provided it, whether it's a service or a product, you have put out energy. You have provided energy, you have used energy, and you need to get that energy back. Energy can neither be created nor destroyed. And if you keep putting it out, if you keep just only giving energy and never getting any back, then you're going to deplete yourself. You're going to deplete your creativity. It's going to create blocks. You're going to resent your clients or your customers, and it's going to make your business fail. And especially if you don't receive payment, because part of the definition of business is providing goods or services for payment. That's the definition of business. So you need to get some form of payment back. And I will say that bartering is all very well and fine, but in my area, the local electric company does not accept bartering, nor does the bank who holds the mortgage. There's a few ways that bartering isn't going to work. So money has to flow in some way, shape, or form. And if we got rid of paper money, I hear this all the time as well, we'd go back to cattle or lead ingots. Let's not do that. There needs to be some form of exchange. Bills work. Little bills actually work. So making money is the best thing that you can do. And I invite you to start right now and say, I am open to receive all the money that is the equivalent for the energy that I put out and more. What if somebody values you more than what you think? Then you need to raise your value, right? We'll get into that in a little bit. So making money is perfect. Making money, charging for things, you got to do it. It's beautiful. Now, here's some of the things that can get in your way. And now, Olivia, we're getting to the yeah buts. Money was one of them. And I actually spent a lot of time on money because that seems to hold up a lot of people. This getting in the way, the yeah buts, is kind of the middle of my profit attraction formula. And the profit attraction formula is a 3-part program that I've developed to help practitioners and producers get over their money blocks and have a thriving business. So this is part of that. This is part of step 2, which is permission to profit. And these are the excuses that get in the way. And so I'd like people to put in the chat, which one of these is getting in your way? Is it time? So the first yeah but I hear is, oh, I can't start a business, or I'm not doing well in my business because I just don't have a handle on time. I don't have the time to do it. My time is not my own. I've got all these other pressures, which come under the other categories, and I just don't have time. Well, what I'll say about that is that there are lots and lots and lots of productivity courses out there that will help you manage your time. I'm personally not one of those who teaches that, but there are a ton of ways that you can learn to manage your time. One of them is called the Pomodoro method, which I personally like, and I was using long before I knew it was called the Pomodoro method, where you just simply set a timer and you work in 15-minute blocks. You could probably find 15 minutes somewhere and do something in 15 minutes. Boom. You've got to get over perfectionism. That should be in the list there, but perfectionism is one of those things that gets in the time category. Money, I already talked about. Being able to finance things, being able to get credit, sometimes that's a yeah but. Again, being willing to take in money is the number one block there. The job. Now, the reason I call it the job, there's the job. And let's say that you still have a job where you are employed by someone else and you are trying to start a business on the side. Yes, I absolutely agree. That's difficult. And people do it all the time. Again, I recommend the time blocking system for being able to get things accomplished, and it starts a little bit slower. But let's say you already have a business, and let's say that you find that you are spending your time doing tasks in your job, in your business, that are really more like being in a job. So if your business is not accounting, you should not be doing bookkeeping. If your business is not a web designer, then you shouldn't be doing web design. Do you get what I'm saying? If your business is not painting, you should not be painting your office. Do not do those tasks that you are no good at. If you're not a copywriter, hire one. If you're not a speech coach, hire one. Get somebody to do those things that you are no good at, and you will find that your energy flows so much better. Relationships. So one of the things that I hear a lot is my wife, my father, my husband, my boss, my what have you, won't let me. Yeah, but fill in the blank, won't let me do this, or is mocking me or scornful of me or laughs at me or says I'm crazy or fill in the blank. Feel free to fill in the blank. I love to hear those things that other people say. My favorite one is when are you going to get a real job? And the answer to that, by the way, is CEO not a good enough job? Hello, if you own your own business, you are a CEO. And I don't care whether you call it the chief entertainment officer, the chief empowerment officer, or the chief executive officer, whatever it is you call it, you're the top banana in the organization. And you have that status. And the trick is that you need to farm things out just like a real CEO, right? Now, one of the yeah buts is business knowledge. It's the knowledge of how to get started, what to do. And I will say again that MBAs run into this all the time, because MBAs a lot of times are looking at very high level, big company kinds of things. And when you are starting from scratch with yourself and your bootstraps, there's a lot of little things that need to get taken care of that an MBA doesn't necessarily cover, like getting a business license, or in the United States, it's called a DBA, a doing business as, or filing for corporate status, all those kind of things, whether you want to do it or not. What to charge, how to charge, who to have as your payment processor. There's lots and lots of little questions. But again, if you take it in little 15-minute chunks, you can get it done. You can make it happen. You can learn. The internet is amazing with the amount of information that is out there for businesses. And you can even go onto iTunes. On iTunes, there's I forget what they call it these days. I think it's still called iTunes University. And iTunes University literally has colleges from all over the world. They're offering courses for free. So you can pick up a lot of business knowledge that way. There are tons of people who are willing to give of their time and energy to help you get started. There's organizations like SCORE in the United States, and I'm sorry, I don't remember completely what SCORE stands for, but it's the Society something coalition of retired executives. And these are people who just volunteer to tell people about how to run their business. Totally free in most major cities. You can sign up for an hour session with them. Boom, there you go. Absolutely free. You can get business knowledge. Family dynamics and history. Now, I had a client. This is a cultural thing. He was from South Asia in India. And in India, the caste system was allegedly done away with over a century ago, but the mindset still runs through it. And I had a client whose family for centuries had been part of the priestly caste, and he wanted to go into business. And his family was subtly discouraging him, and other people he was trying to do business with in India were subtly discouraging him because in their mind, the priestly caste didn't do business. That wasn't their thing. They were taken care of, but they were not to do money exchange. And so his businesses kept failing. So he had to attend to that family dynamics and figure out how to do this. Let's say that your family dynamics is that everybody works in the traditional family job. I have a client who is breaking away from her father's business after having been in it for decades and is finally going, you know what, I need to be on my own. And her father is going, wait, you can't do that. I've given you all of this stuff and I've been, had you as part of my business. You can't break away. Well, she's an adult. Yes, she can, but it's very difficult. And getting away from that family mindset is tricky, and we've broken through with her. And that actually brings up mindset. So Wayne Gretzky, who is a hockey player, very famous hockey player, said, you always miss 100% of the shots you never take. Michael Jordan quoted him, and so a lot of people know it from Michael Jordan, but it was actually Wayne Gretzky decades before Michael Jordan said it. If you believe that you're going to fail, you will. If you have it as your underlying mindset that you're going to fail, you're going to fail. That's just the way it is. If, on the other hand, you recognize that maybe you've got some influences from your family dynamics, from not knowing originally, and you've got a little bit of fear, you can totally turn that mindset around. And that's so easy to do. I have to tell you, of all of the excuses, of all the yeah buts here, mindset is the easiest thing to change. We just have to find the emotional underpinnings of whatever it was, remove those, and boom, it's done. It's simple, not necessarily easy, but it's simple to do, and it clears pretty quickly. So mindset is the simplest one to take care of. Sometimes takes a little bit of work, but it can be done almost immediately. And finally, I want to talk about accountability, because if you are going to go into business for yourself, now you don't have a boss telling you what to do, right? You don't have any outside authority that's holding you accountable for what it is that you're doing. You're not up for review every year or every 6 months, depending on where you are. You don't have that, okay, where's that project? What's going on? It's all up to you. And sometimes that can get in your way, because you can make something just kind of stretch forever. You can make a project go. For instance, I bet you nobody here has ever done this. You say, oh, I'm going to just make a single post on Facebook. And then you end up scrolling down the rabbit hole for hours, right? Nobody here has ever done that, right? Right? Of course not. Or you're on LinkedIn or Instagram or whatever, or for instance, one of the things I should have used as an example in my JOB, if you're not a graphics designer, don't be designing graphics, and especially if you've got any kind of perfectionism, because you'll be adjusting fonts and colors and where things go, and you just really shouldn't be doing that. Give that to somebody else. And you can take hours with it, because there's nobody else to tell you otherwise. So I strongly suggest that anybody in business get yourself an accountability buddy. Now, perfect world, you hire a coach. You hire somebody who can help you be accountable, find your bullshit, and take care of it. But even if it's a trusted friend, somebody who is supporting you emotionally and mentally, who will say, okay, Sue, what project have you got going? Where are you going with it? What goals do you have? Have you achieved them? What progress have you made? Okay, I think you're trying to do too much, or I think you need to try this direction because that would work better. And have you hired a graphics designer lately? So somebody to keep you accountable is it's so important. I can't say it's the number one thing, but it's darn close for being the biggest yeah but, and it's completely invisible because you don't know that you don't have it. You don't know that you don't have it. So I love to bring it up as one of the things that allows you to be successful in business, to make a bigger impact in the world. And I just want to say that one of the motivations for me that I actually have to say that I stole this from Russell Brunson, who is the CEO of ClickFunnels. And what I say is, If I can help one coach, practitioner, healer, reader, whoever it is that I'm helping, one business owner to get clear on their business and to be successful at their business, then they help a whole bunch of people, and those people's lives are better, and they make a difference in the other people's lives, and it just becomes this amazing ripple effect in the world. So this is why I'm passionate about helping people be successful, to show their genius, to bring it out in the world, because it drives me mad when people have their geniuses stifled or stuck. It's one of my passions in the world, is to help people get unstuck and realize their own destiny, which is what Olivia said in my introduction. That's absolutely what I'm here to do. So, what are you willing to give up to achieve your vision? What are you willing to let go of? Is it your family? Is it asking for the money? Is it time? Is it your mindset? Is it the simplest thing is to find an accountability partner? Second simplest thing is to change your mindset. And are you willing to do that and go through some of the discomfort when things change? One of my teachers was very fond of quoting, and I just love this quote: before things can change, they have to be not the same. I'll say that again. Before things can change, they have to be not the same. And people, it's very funny. They're trying to have their cake and eat it too. They want to have this, but they want to have that, and it doesn't work that way. You have to be willing to let go. And once you let go, your business takes off. It's amazing. Allow yourself to shine. Allow yourself to get off your butt and be the star that you are. Let your genius shine. You get to make a profit. You get to be successful. You get to be the best you that you can be. So, what if you could actually attract better clients who might actually pay you what you're worth, so that you could have money in the bank, right? Because that's kind of one of the things about being in business, is one of the number one things that people say when they say, what's the biggest roadblock in your business, is getting customers, right? Getting clients. I want to find clients. Where do I find the clients? Well, what if you could actually find clients who actually pay you? I have a different slide for something else that has no whiners. and they don't whine, and they pay you, and you get money in the bank. Woohoo! What could be better, right? If you have money in the bank, you can take time off. You could do what you want. You could travel. You can fund a nonprofit. You can adopt a child, a dog, a manatee in Florida, whatever it is that you want to do. You can have extra money that you can then put toward whatever it is that your heart desires. You can spend time with friends and family if that is what you desire. Ready? So this is actually really easy, and it is in fact free. Knowing who you are is the first step in the profit attraction formula. And knowing who you're dealing with as a client, it's much easier to deal with clients where you know where they're coming from, and you can gently say, nope, you're not my best customer. You need to go to somebody else. You are my wonderful customer. Bring it on. Let's go. Because that is absolutely priceless. So my giveaway, which I think is on the website, and I'm hoping Olivia will put it in the chat here. The profit attraction formula, the first step is the business personality guide. And there are, in my world, 10 different personalities. There's not 4, there's not 2, there's 10. And they all have to do with how they react to money, to information, to products and services, how they approach them, what's their mindset, what are they good at, what do they not do well with. For instance, there is one of the personalities is called the knower. And the knower, as you might imagine, just knows. They know it all. They know everything. They come in, they've already done their research. They already know everything. You can't tell them anything, except that you do. You tell them something they didn't know. And now they're down a rabbit hole, and you're having a really good time with them because now you've given them something else to research. They may take a little longer to come back to you and actually pay you money, but if you match their research, they're great. There is the magician who is going to try to get deals from you. They're the manipulator. They're the ones who are going to try to wheel and deal and make things turn out to their best advantage. Now, for some people, that actually matches their energy, and they love to wheel and deal too. And so if they're in business and they're into, doing this negotiation back and forth, and that's their jam, perfect. For other people, this is like horrific. Don't even get me near that. So the business personality guide is absolutely a wonderful, wonderful way for you to know who you are, recognize yourself, and to be able to figure out who your clients are and who you want to deal with and how to find them. All right. We're going to stop share. So what have we got? Oh, the chat has blown up. What have we got? Let's see. Got it. Okay.
I was going to say, I love the rant. I love the rant that you went on with money. That hit home.
Right? Yes, I'm the reason so many people are quitting their jobs.
That would not be a bad ripple effect.
Right? Because what we really need to do is do a different version of creating jobs, and don't get me started on that rant. Paying people what they're worth. Hello. And I see, I'm glad you like the painting yourself into a corner. That was one of my favorite ones. I don't see rejection of money in the plate at church, right? That they don't reject that. So you can take that as something that, hey, you can take a little bit of that. Money is a primary fruit, absolutely. And pushing money away is unspiritual, Olivia. You're absolutely right. And congealed energy, yes. There's my rant. Yes, get my free gift. Get it on there. Perfectionism, absolutely. Yeah, my time management skills sucked for a long time until I realized that what I did for a really long time, this is very funny. This has nothing to do with business whatsoever. What I did to force myself to clean the house was to do it in 15-minute slots, because the idea of cleaning the whole house was absolutely overwhelming to me. And so I would say, okay, I'm going to do 15 minutes in the bathroom and then I'm going to walk away. Or I'll do 15 minutes in the kitchen and then I'm going to walk away. And I had this schedule where I would kind of rotate and do this circuit where I would spend 15 minutes here and there. And it was no longer overwhelming because I knew, and you have to keep your promise. That's the thing. If you're going to set it up for 15 minutes, you must keep the promise. Do not screw with yourself and break the promise and don't do the 15 minutes. So that is a fantastic way of getting through things in business. Give yourself 15 minutes to do something, and if it takes longer than that, walk away. Save it and walk away. Yeah, lots of, oh, thank you for getting the link to SCORE. They were so helpful. There was at one point when I was buying a retail, I bought a bookstore at one point, and SCORE was really, really helpful in helping me negotiate the contract and figure out how to value inventory and all that sort of thing. It was absolutely fabulous. All right. Yes, doing the same thing and expecting a different result is the definition of insanity. You know, that's that is absolutely what ends up happening is people go, oh, okay, I'm going to change, and then they don't change, or they do the same thing, and they expect things to change because they've sort of not changed. So, all right. Any other questions? Going once. Going twice.
Oh, there's a question here.
Oh, can I get rid of the G7?
Yes.
Yeah, that would be tough. That would be a little hard. They're pretty entrenched.
Well, I was wondering, Sue, you know, how do people work with you? Do you have workshops, or is it one-to-one, or?
Oh, thank you for asking. So yes, at 15 minutes each. I'd have to get 15 minutes on their books. That's the tricky thing. I'd spend 15 minutes with their gatekeepers every day, just getting on their books. So yeah, I have 3 different ways that people can work with me. I, of course, have the the Profit Attraction Formula coaching program, which is a 6-month coaching program. And we go through the 3 steps of the Profit Attraction Formula, which is, and my brain just went blank, permission to profit, connect to profit, and align with profit, align to profit, permission to profit, and connect to profit are the 3 steps. And there's 3, and then there's multiple steps within each of those. And the align to profit is the expansion of that personality guide. And we take a deep dive into those personalities, and you learn all about them and how they show up in the business. Permission to profit is a workshop. I am just about to redo that again. I'm revamping it, and I'm going to be doing it online. I used to do that in person, but I'm planning on doing that as an online version and see how that goes. But that's a full day workshop, and it goes through some of the blocks and the mindsets of people, and we literally clear them in the workshop. So it's really fabulous. It's a lot of fun, and watching people come in going and come out going, yeah, show me the money. It's fabulous. And then connect to profit is, now that you know who you want to work with, and now that you're clear about receiving money, now let's talk about marketing, right? Because until you've gotten those 2 things out of the way, all the marketing in the world is not going to work. So that's what the 6-month program is. Now I have a shorter program called the Call to Action Coaching, which is, we pick one thing, which is mostly the money blocks. And it's a combination of goal setting. We meet twice a week, and it's for 3 months. And in 90 days, we have cleared the money blocks, and they just get things done in their business. It's just really, really concentrated. And that's really fun. And part of what it is that I'm doing in there brings me to the third thing. My secret sauce is a sound healing technique called biofield tuning. And I'm going to try to put that in the chat here. And that is a trademark thing. That is a technique that uses focused sound in your electromagnetic field, and I may be going way over people's heads, this is physics, not woo-woo. You have an electromagnetic field that is generated by your brain, your heart, and your gut. And your emotions and thoughts, especially strongly held ones, are recorded in your electromagnetic field. And there's physics behind that. There's studies behind this. It's all out there. So you know how it is when you approach someone and you feel what we call their vibe. Literally, that is what you are feeling, is you are picking up their electromagnetic field and their thoughts, beliefs, and emotions. And so what biofield tuning does is it uses sound as a frequency to change the vibration of those electromagnetic fields to release those strongly held thoughts, emotions, and beliefs that no longer serve you. And miracles happen with that. So when I say in the call to action coaching program, when we meet twice a week, one is a coaching thing where we're doing the accountability, and one of them is a biofield tuning session. So in 3 months, you're getting a biofield tuning session once a week, which is for 12 weeks. Man, let me tell you, there's going to be layers that are going to go away. And then I will work with people just on the biofield tuning. I have 3 packs, 6 packs, and 9 packs of biofield tuning sessions. And I also have something that I did last year that I recorded, that I have available, that I did group sessions. Remember how in the yeah, but chart I had family dynamics? Well, guess what? Some of the stuff can be inherited through your DNA. And there's been a lot of research recently. There's a book by called It Didn't Start With You by a man named John Woolnick, which is fabulous because he's talking about things that could have happened 7 generations ago that are suddenly popping up and being expressed in your DNA because your environment suddenly popped those out. And what I did was I had the idea, because I knew that this is something that biofield tuning worked on, was at the DNA level, was I did a group session to clear the ancestral block, you might say, around illness. Because everyone alive on the planet right now had an ancestor who lived through the 1918 to 1921 pandemic. And whatever plague happened before that, whatever plague happened before that, and whatever plague happened before that. Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah. Thank you for that link, Olivia. It is amazing. So I did that. And then I realized, you know what? When I was taking my biofield tuning training, they talked about the 7 ancestral issues, and illness is only one of them. Poverty is another one. Betrayal, abuse, there's 7 of them, and they are clearing those out of your system is amazing. So I did this whole series of group sessions and recorded each one of them. So those are, let me put the link there if that's okay. If it's not okay, just tell me now. And okay. There we go. It lists off the 7, and you can get them individually for $35 a piece, which is way low, or you can get the whole set for $150. So it's a good introduction. None of them is over 35 minutes, I believe. And they are, I want to say that if you do get the bundle, don't batch them. Don't be binge watching them. Don't sit down and go, oh, I'm just going to spend the day clearing my entire. Don't do that. The detox would be bad. Do them about a week apart. Let it settle for a little bit. This should be a warning. Don't do this. So any other questions? Yes, binging on the biofilm.
No, thank you so much, Sue. I mean, I think you've given us some new perspectives on our yeah buts, and thank you so much for sharing that knowledge that you've got from your clients.
Yeah. So can I put you on the spot, Olivia? Which one was your big one?
The business knowledge. Just because I don't feel like I've got enough training yet, or a business mindset yet. To think like a CEO, right? But you've given me some awareness that there's a wealth of information out there that's on YouTube, online, Score, that's available that I can just spend maybe 15 minutes a day just reading up on.
Exactly. Don't go down the rabbit hole. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, thank you again, Steve and Olivia, for putting this on. I so appreciate being on here and being able to share the yeah buts.
Well, thank you. Awesome. I think we all have our pocket yeah buts, to our favorite ones to get past. And the more that we pull them out and examine them and see that they aren't really serving us, the sooner we can move on to something better.
Right. And allow you to sing your song.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So.
Exactly. Well, I'd love to just unmute, please, and just give Sue a round of applause.